Well, folks, it would appear we are in a pickle. A Professor Pickle? Ha ha!
Keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise.
This is the void we are stuck in, everybody.
Gee, way to bring down the mood instantly, Devario. I called you Devario for no real reason. Welcome back to Dramatis Lectio, starring yours truly, Madhog Die Master, and also co-starring Devar Arkvaron.
Yeah, Devario, because it's Mario Day!
I guess it technically was up until midnight, which we
Yes.
are past it, so...
Yes, I know, but still.
I did not know Mario needed its own day. Where is my Sonic Day?
It's March 10th, aka...
AKA?
Martin.
Well,
Oh! March the 10th, Mario. Yes, that is so clever, isn't it?
Like May the 4th be with you!
Anyway, also co-starring, back to the official greetings before any more tangents block my path towards my destiny, we have Icy Pal from the land of the never rising sun. Or maybe sun rises but gets stuck up there for 6 months.
Because it has a hangover.
That's a good one. I'm going to write it down as a hangover.
Well, yes, if you blink, you'll miss it when it becomes sober again.
That is so fascinating. Anyway, we are continuing on our descent into madness, into the void of madness, or in this case, the void within, because it's time once again to go back to the ever so lovely and popular spin-offs of My Tales saga. This time around, we are continuing where we left off last time with the void within, void of was it sorrow or was it love? I lost my
Sorrow
place.
was the first one.
Okay, yes, void of sorrow. Thank you.
I think at this point we've reached the bottom of this well and are just punching the ground to get even deeper.
Yes, in a
Yes,
misguided attempt to actually get out, we are digging our own grave.
Cue the Simpsons clip where
Yes.
Homer Simpson recommends, we'll dig out down our way out!
Okay, I will not splice that into the editing because of
Yeah,
YouTube,
no,
but
copyright,
imagine that it is there. Just use your imagination. Imagination.
No, dig up, stupid!
Anyway, it's time
I am
for...
a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Digging hole. Digging hole.
I am going to take this car and just turn around and go back home.
Hey, look at all those road signs. Quick, jump on them.
We are continuing on with The Void Within, column, Void of Solitude. The second, very necessary chapter of the Void Within trilogy, which was in itself a very necessary trilogy to have. In fact, the whole point of the first story in this trilogy was how pointless it was, if you recall.
And how much you wanted people to suffer.
Well, that
And
too,
not
but...
your readers this time, just your characters.
Well, listen, I think that's been clear-cut as an intent can possibly get since the beginning.
Just let me get my pad just to doubt.
Press X to doubt.
If I were playing Slay the Spire, I would have the Doubt Curse in my deck, right at this point.
The void of solitude.
Clever
to
and
sing?
original.
Since this is a songfic, do we have to sing the lyrics?
No.
No, as we established, we don't have to. Of course, you can try. I know I
I
could
don't know
sing
Linkin
this song. I know for a fact that I could sing this song.
Oh no.
Yes. Anyway, so will you do us the honor of reading the summary, please?
The Void Within, Void of Solitude, by Madhog, thy master.
He's a good chap. I met him once.
Sounds like a poser.
Oh, what is a void? An empty, hollow space.
I guess by the dictionary definition of it, yes.
Something whose only desire is to be filled.
Well, I don't know about that. Also, this can be easily misconstrued.
To become. To become a whole. Sequel of Void and Sorrow.
Isn't it such good form to have ellipsis followed up by a period in a sentence? It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Ugh.
Tales Saga spin-off series. Song Somewhere I Belong by Linkin Park.
I wanna heal. I wanna feel like I'm close to something real.
Rated T for T.
Yeah, I don't know Linkin Park songs.
I have known too many Linkin Park songs at the time.
God, Madhog, stop being so itchy.
Honestly, Linkin Park might be the only new metal band to have aged gracefully, considering what we now know about the lead singer.
I'll take your word for it.
By the way, the angst drama-filled evening we'll have is going to be rated T for teen. So I guess we can't read this anymore because we're not teenagers anymore, guys.
That has never stopped us from watching all the cartoons we love.
Okay, so we have 6,000 words the story has.
Yes, and 10 reviews.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed.
Let's see if, at the end if you can find our old favorites there.
Probably.
So anyway, let us continue on with Void of Solitude.
You always forget the last bit. This was originally published on January the 13th, 2009, and updated 2 days later, literally, on January the 15th, 2009.
And its current status is complete.
Yes, well, as complete as this will ever be. I have been writing Tales and Tales spin-offs basically back to back, if you check on all the dates. This was not even 1 month after I finished Tales. Let us
Void
begin.
of Solitude.
Girl. When this began, I had nothing to say and I got lost in the nothingness inside of me. I was confused. And I let it all out to find that I'm not the only person with these things in mind inside of me, but all the vacancy in the world, etc., etc. You know the drill.
Yes, I know the drill.
We have Linkin Park lyrics to begin the chapter. Just as last time we had lyrics from Evanescence to accompany our journey into this literary leprosy.
Just as God has always intended.
Let us not waste any more time, which for us is honestly a new record, and begin this.
But who shall begin?
What is a void? Oh, I see it now. A miserable little pile of secrets.
A miserable little pile of hollow space.
An empty, hollow space. Something whose only desire is to be filled, to become a whole. I'm just repeating the summary here.
A knot hole.
Eh? No. There is a void in every living soul. Careful, we are approaching Kingdom Hearts territory here. A void caused by distress, displeasure, mild inconvenience, pain and sorrow.
Stubbed toes.
It is
That has all of it.
there to remind all of us. Don't get me started on paper cuts.
Stepping on Lego.
Oh no, that's terrible. That we're mortal beings and therefore we're meant to suffer. I think I've made the Arlan Ellison joke last time too many times
Yeah.
already, so I'm just going to go past this, just getting over the obstacle. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
And here we
Yeah,
are.
let me give you a push.
I'm already on the other side. Thank goodness. Who decided that? I don't know. It was a sadistic god. We already know who decided this. It was the writer. Or Fang the Sniper, whichever. It was a sadistic god? A devil? Chaos itself? Just like many things that happen in this world, we do not have an answer. All we have is our life and our emotions and ellipsis. The only way to erase the void that's inside our hearts is to fill it with new feelings. This is some elementary grade school material right there and there. Feeling bad is bad.
Feeling bad is bad. Let's put more feelings into it to make it better.
And
This-
that's no good.
This seems like the script for Promare, honestly. It's a good film, I like it, but the writing is, well, what it is. And that, of course, it's the difficult part, especially for a certain being whose life has been cursed even before his own birth. By whom, you may ask? Again, a question that will not find an answer, because
the
I'm a
question was
lousy
lazy.
writer. Nobody really asked it to begin with. Maybe it's been all the doing of a deranged author, which we know for a fact to be the case. Or maybe it just had to happen. The point is, this being was alive, suffering, empty, a void
Don't
of
say.
life, with no memory of his past except for a few figments and images. A unique being, alone in a foreign world. Are we just summarizing the previous story here? First of all, how do you do a sequel to Void of Sorrow, considering how it ends? That would be akin to producing a sequel to Danganronpa Be Free, knowing how it ends. Which I will not spoil. And
Are we talking about the end where Void dies, or the cop-out end where he becomes Tails' newest roommate?
I'm talking about the ending of the story, which is just about the writer and Fang the Sniper having an inside argument.
Existential crisis, gotcha.
And I shall tell his tale. Who am I? I am not Fang the Sniper, that's for sure. Good, establishing that. And I am not stealing the regular author's role. As a matter of fact, I am here because of the real author's request. My true name will be revealed at the end of this story. Wow, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
For now, you may refer to me as this world's Solitude. I smell a stinky, stinky theme here.
Oh, hi there, at this world's Solitude. I'm Dad.
You have literally made this joke last time! Refresh your material, mate.
I do not have the memory refreshed.
The memory refresh. I'll refresh you with a Mentos.
Let
Let us begin!
Press F5 to refresh.
This wrestling joke is lost on you.
Yes.
Yes. Well, actually, it's not lost on me, but still.
No, I mean on Icipal.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let us begin this tale of woes. This was the mandatory introductory part that's all in bold. And now we actually begin.
It has already been a whole month since Void's arrival into this dimension.
So it does continue on from that!
A whole month since losing his memory, going berserk, killing a couple of persons.
Oh, don't worry. They were all horrible racist, so it's a-okay.
I guess it is!
Just pluck out the first controversial thing you can think of and put it into every person that you kill. Then, yes.
That sure is convenient that it only killed the racists and bigots.
And
I
getting
mean, one of them was a racist. One of them was possibly a character who was implied to be.
Listen, I take offense in the fact that you would presume this story had any kind of subtlety in it. I'm sorry, implication, implied, what is this madness? If you don't yell your themes and character motivations out loud, shaking the readers with the burden of knowledge, you're not doing it right.
Killing a couple of persons and getting mauled to death by a mechanical battle plane and its angry tooth-tailed pilot.
So he was mauled to death, but apparently he's better now.
He almost died that night.
Almost!
Not
Then
just
he was
because-
not mauled to death!
Not just because of the physical beating, but also because he mentally gave up. The atrocious emptiness of his forgotten memories was matched only by his hollow soul.
Crawling in my skin.
He didn't have tears to cry, nor he had emotions to share. His mind was currently closed to the outside world, a world he couldn't understand, a world he couldn't recognize,
Okay, boomer.
a world without her.
A world without Spider-Man!
His blazing princess, his feline queen of flames. He
Ugh.
couldn't quite remember her name either, but her image was deadly clear in his damaged mind.
Again, the adjective is not appropriate for the sentence and the tone you're trying to set.
Day after day, he was slowly losing any hope in finding her. Day after day, he was slowly becoming more void.
I'm going to
Welcome.
faceplant on my desk.
Well, congratulations that he's becoming more of himself.
The guilt towards his recent victim.
I am on all of me! I am on all of me!
The guilt towards his recent victims was another thing that tormented him greatly.
Yes, I'll never forget the sacrifices of racist coffee cup and nurse, what was her name? World?
He would often dream about them, reliving all those terrifying moments. That's why he decided to stay awake. It has been a whole month since his utter downfall into oblivion.
Oh, wow, 2 game references in one sentence. That's great.
A whole month
A whole month?
since the very same person who beat him swore to take care of him the best way he could.
No matter the dimension, Tails still ends up being his daddy.
Yes, Tails does the Leslie Nielsen and shakes him like, come on, snap out of it! And slaps him.
Oh, there's an entire line behind him waiting to slap him.
Yeah, and they have maces and
Yes!
battle cards.
It gets increasingly more violent. I think Icipal was too young to remember the Plane series.
I've seen them.
The young two-tailed anthropomorphic fox by the puny name of Miles Prower.
Why? Okay, maybe I meant to say punny, but instead puny came out.
Ironically enough, used to be his lifeline. Without him, the Cedrian would have already died. And not only by grief.
I mean, he was the one who was trying to kill you, so... Yes?
It's kind of freaked up when your daddy from another dimension basically tries to kill you when he's birthed you by seeding you.
You know, it's
Wait.
still not as messed up as any given time the DC universe tries to reboot itself.
Oh my.
I guess shots are fired.
He was a menace to society. Therefore, he needed to hide himself from other people.
I like to think this is an article written by J. Jonah Jameson. That Void is a menace! It must be stopped! Bring me Void!
There are wanted posters in every corner.
Let's
Wanted
say
dead or alive. Preferably dead.
he's been declared dead. A little time after Tails hid him inside his undisclosed workshop in the Mystic Ruins.
Yes, that very undisclosed hidden workshop, which is right on a bloody cliff that faces over the sea, and everybody can see it outside the forest.
Yes, and they can also see it from the train station. That they
Yes!
come on.
The train station! The train stops right in front of his workshop! It's very undisclosed indeed.
Don't worry, there's a sign that says Secret Workshop of Miles Tails Power. Do not tell anyone.
Ah yes, the lack of an R in Power will immediately misdirect everyone. Yes, this is Miles Power. No relations whatsoever to Miles Power. Move along.
Since
Foolproof plan.
Since Void was a plant-based life form, he needed plenty of water
Oh, water of plenty.
and attention, of course.
Attention!
So when you say attention, do you mean like he's a cat that you need to pet him every so often to show that you love him?
I now have this mental image in my head and it's incredibly cursed.
Besides, cats don't want your love, they want your obedience.
Well, they also want you to notice them depending if they are house cats or not.
Exactly, they want to know that their human slave is still attentive to cater to all their needs.
Yes. Well, it depends on the cat, really.
Yes. There wasn't really anything exciting to do inside that improvised refugee other than
Refuge.
Refuge.
Oh, refuge. Okay, refuge other than watching human trash TV. How is it any different to today? Probably nothing.
Actually, TV was much worse back then, 10 years ago. You know, Big Brother and reality TV was everywhere.
Reality TV, reruns, all those same movies that they've been playing since 10 years ago because they are cheap to put on television.
Human trash TV, playing old video games like that curious one about a jumping plumber and a monkey. And of course, bathing. Well,
That's the most important part.
Yeah, because you need a lot of water, so you've already mentioned this, so...
Yes.
Wait, do plant creatures really need to, bathe as in wash?
Well, mostly they need to be exposed to sun rays and to be watered every once in a while.
I know, but I mean anthropomorphic plant-based creatures. Do you think
Listen.
that they would require to be bathing and showering just to get stink off them?
I
At
mean,
all?
listen.
regular plants do require occasional cleaning because they do get a lot of dust.
Do you think for 1 second that I put this much thought into that by writing this?
No.
I mean, if someone were to ask, as a writer, you should say yes.
Or maybe I could tell them, get a life.
I mean, if I could get extra lives, I would.
Yes, same here. He
Like
would.
in Scott
Well,
Pilgrim.
that's a big mood right there.
He used to do this last activity pretty often. That until Tails joined him. I mean, had to save him from self-drowning.
Okay, and all of a sudden,
Drowning?
the tone shifts completely and this becomes about suicidal depression. Hooray!
Wait,
I'm sure you'll handle that with the gravitas that it deserves.
Gravitas is not the right word because it would imply, because it's the opposite of being sensible about it.
Wait, so he's a plant-based creature that's trying to drown himself?
I mean, yes, that's
I
a real
mean,
thing
yes.
that can happen to plants.
Yes, they can drown, in fact.
Huh. Yes, I actually do
Well,
remember
unless
that.
they are algae, they are already underwater in that case.
Okay. Let's see if you. Let's see if you,
Madhog, I thought you said you didn't put that much thought into this.
No, but you did, so I wanted
Okay.
to be part of the group.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna
Oh.
continue reading just to see if Madhog does worse than I did when I was younger, using suicide in a story.
At some point, I really want to read your material, Devar.
No,
you
you
keep
do- no,
putting
you
it on
do-
a pedestal. I'm so curious.
No, you do not want to see it. It's boring. It is absolute fluff material, and it's
Fluff
there's nothing
material
funny
is
about
the
it.
easiest to make fun.
No, it's boring. Trust me on this one. Anyway, after that episode, the Vulpine didn't trust the boy anymore and decided to give him an extra eye.
He's going to implant a cybernetic third eye on his forehead.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's much better than what I was thinking.
I don't think I even want to know what you were thinking.
Right now, Void sat on his bed, which was the guest's bed. Well, thanks for letting us know that, because I thought he was on Tails' bed.
Yes, he was going
Yeah.
to start a bed and breakfast on his very publicly known workshop that's right besides the train station, which is very convenient for any and all tourists.
Doing his second favorite activity after suicide, he was staring at his hands.
And already I failed miserably.
He had those ugly, deformed, huge, three-fingered and clawed hands. His murdering hands. The hands that tasted human blood.
Wait, did you say flood?
No, blood.
I thought you said flood.
Flood of blood. Blood, blood.
Blood FUD, the new 1980s violent arcade that soccer moms hate.
It is, it's the new flub. It's the food and blood put together.
I'm going to be the Graham Chapman of the situation and stop this joke right now.
He despised them with all his might.
With all his might!
His might!
Counter
Hate.
1.
Hate and sadness engulfed his soul, leaving no room for other, more enjoyable feelings.
I'm confused. I thought Void of Sorrow was last story.
He often wondered if his own birth has been someone else's joke.
In a way, it was. Not a very funny one, though.
Yes, it was not very funny because a bunch of stupid internet people made a joke about it and they couldn't stop laughing for ages because it was dirty.
That's a big mood.
There was a part of him that wished everybody's death and demise. That wished to force the world to feel his own sufferance.
Sufferance is a very unusual word, but it is a real word, just to clarify.
I do know this exists, this word.
Same here.
And there was another part of him who knew that his own existence has caused others to suffer. Therefore, he wished his own death.
Okay, so on one hand, I wish everybody died. On the other hand, I wish I died.
In other words, why not wish for everyone to die and you die along with them? Because you're part of everybody.
Because
So
if you do that,
everybody wins.
because if you do that, you're basically Legato Blue Summers.
Darkness and light are both part of our being. They're what makes us whole. They're what makes us mortal. Idealistically speaking, our souls could very well be the reflection of this world's balance between night and day.
This is utter garbage, and it has no business being right here, right now, when we are describing a person afflicted by suicidal depression.
Yes, because, we have to get pretentious. It would be too simple, however, to limit the utter complexity of our being into the division between good and evil.
Since when has anything that has thus far happened in this chapter been anything about good and evil? Stop being so pretentious! This is like extra bad pretentious.
Into the aforementioned balance.
I'll take your balance and shove it up your good and evil pretentious.
As a
I'm
matter of
going
fact,
to have to censor a lot of this in post.
as a matter of fact, our world, and therefore ourselves, are the most distant thing from anything balanced. We live in chaos, and we are part of it.
We are chaos.
Anything more obvious you would like to reiterate for the bajillionth time?
Why, yes, to make things overcomplicated, yet simple at the same time, chaos is the balance of life. Can I just, kick
No,
it?
no, you can't.
I want
you
to
can't.
kick it.
No, you can't. No, stop it.
But I want to
Stop
kick
it.
it.
It's a puppy. Leave the puppy alone.
But it's
No,
a chaotic puppy.
I mean, Madhog wrote this, so wouldn't you be kicking him?
And this balance was currently devouring.
No. This balance, it's in quotation marks.
I did put emphasis on it.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Well, it didn't sound like that.
Well, I do now. And this balance was currently devouring the young Cedrian from the inside.
So, to summarize a whole bunch of pretentious
Nothing.
nonsense, that too, Void is feeling suicidal and is being torn apart by feelings of guilt and depression and more guilt. Do you really need to go on a tangent about chaos, good and evil, night and day, the balance of the universe, to talk about some guy who has depression?
I don't know. Let me channel Alfred Cunningham, my muscle wizard character from our one-shot campaign, and punch a hole through reality to pull out the Madhog from 11 years past and ask him. Well, Madhog of the past, what do you have to say for yourself?
Me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were in the Muppet dimension. Go back.
By the way, this can be an entire bit, and we will be here all night if we pursue this bit.
I mean, if you add Muppets into anything, it automatically makes it better.
Right. His namesake eyes were perched in frustration and inner despair while fixing themselves on those awful hands he had.
You have no idea how much I hold him back on the masturbation jokes.
We appreciate your sacrifice in this. I wish they could just disappear, ellipsis, along with the rest of myself.
You're not helping the story.
Are we sure that the song that inspired this fic wasn't Somewhere I Belong by Linkin Park, but instead I Feel Like a Monster from Skillet?
No. Somewhere I Belong is pretty much very openly about that sort of depression, like many of their songs. So this is very much in tune with that, except much less mature.
He yelled in his mind, by the way.
Yes, all of that, even Linkin Park.
Suddenly, a noise interrupted his derailed train of thoughts.
Oh, look, it's the train from the local train station that's right beside me.
He turned his head towards the door. He was standing at the entrance. His forced host. You make that sound like a much more terrible thing than it needs to be.
Well, listen, Boyd is basically on suicide watch, and Tails has to be his anti-suicide sponsor.
So who's
I
playing
guess.
Tails again, other than Matty?
I have been Tails of
Okay.
Matty.
Yes, for some reason we gave Tails to all the Finnish boys.
Hi, Void.
Tails timidly said while putting on a weak smile. Awkwardness clearly audible in his tone. You shouldn't sound cheery. Void's peculiar response. Didn't late to come.
Didn't
What?
late to come!
What? Void, we talked about your hands. No.
Now there is sap everywhere.
I'm sorry, didn't late to come. Late is not a verb! Can we focus on that instead?
No, because
I don't
it's not
know.
ridiculous.
What does the past Madhog have to say?
I don't know. Why don't you ask him?
I did.
No, you asked Muppet Madhog, which is the wrong Madhog. You will have to reopen a rift into the space-time continuum and try again.
Punch! Wink! Well, past Madhog, what do you have to say for yourself?
Rather.
It's a peanuts, Madhog.
Now, actually, you take Madhog from the Chowder universe.
I do not know that series.
Well, okay, fair enough. But still, it's the first thing that came to mind. Anyway, let's continue. Hello, Father.
He said, black eyes widen in respect. Yeah, your forced host, you respect him?
Getting a lot of mixed messages here.
Almost in eagerness, one would say. Tails just sighed.
Void, I'm younger than you are. That sounded weird.
No, Father sounded weird. This sounds rational.
The kit remarked. The Cedrian couldn't help but feel the strange familiarity of the situation. Perhaps it's been a déjà vu. While the teen plant was distracted in his thoughts, Tails fixed his own gaze on him, and once again, a very familiar emotion found its way inside the kid's tormented mind. He didn't have been able to forgive himself.
Oh gosh! What is
For
this? What is this grammar nightmare?
For what he'd done a whole month ago. He almost killed him. He almost killed a living, breathing being. And for what? And the other two breathing beings that he forgot to mention that he actually did kill.
Wait, he killed bees? When did that happen?
Beings, I said.
I know, but it sounded like you were forgetting a couple of letters.
Peace!
For revenge? The lowest among excuses. He thought he was better than that. But after seeing his stepfather reduced to an inch of his life, something inside of him just snapped. A dark side he didn't think he had. A side that's inside everybody, nonetheless.
Uh-huh.
He felt...
But you know, if you look inside the darkness of your heart, there really is light. There was light all along.
He felt even more guilty after actually knowing his current guest. He was not evil, nor he killed those persons on purpose. He was just a desperate being from another universe who's lost his memories, except the ones who made him suffer. Alone in a world he didn't belong with.
So,
call back to the song!
I'm going to say, I have come across pretty edgy, angsty, sad emo characters in my day, but the way I write them surpasses them all.
Your sledgehammer, the angst and edginess is the head
Hold on.
of the hammer, and the readers are the nail you are pounding into the ground.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to mentally compose what you just said into a meme, and I'm thinking about a Triple H holding his sledgehammer, ready to hit someone else.
The Vulpine knew firsthand that solitude was.
Oh, there it is.
He suffered for it all of his life.
All of his life!
After losing his parents, and sometimes even after meeting Sonic.
Which is never around.
What was he?
Tails, how could you? You have forgotten your house after all this time.
What?
Well, this Tails is not the same Tails from the other story, you know? So he still has his house, and still loves his house very much.
When you said house, I thought you said hose. I was thinking to myself, what the heck is he talking about?
Oh my god, Tails has a hose attached to his house that he loves dearly.
Or
I
maybe
mean,
Tails
he's-
visits the Red District quite often.
I mean, his hose has been unusable since he seeded those flowers.
What was even
I am
worse?
going to ignore. Yes, I'm going to ignore that.
What was even worse? This being claimed to be his son, or better, the son of another Tails from another dimension.
Jesus.
Things were looking pretty messed up lately. That's an understatement.
Void of Sorrow really needed a sequel, didn't it?
I mean, so much has happened already.
Then again, aren't always that way.
What?
Aren't always that way, yes.
What? What aren't always that way? Where is the subject?
Things. It's time for your lesson.
The kid said, interrupting both of their train of thoughts. Boyd just shrugged.
Fine.
Get it over with. He simply muttered. For people who suffered of amnesia, keeping their brains busy was a good help.
Clearly, I am an expert of amnesia. I
That's
studied at the University of Oxford. Get it?
Yes. That's why, since he put the Sigian under his protective wing, or should I say tail,
No, you don't need to.
Tails has been busy in teaching his guests about this world's history. Mainly his adventures with Sonic.
Yes, his world's history is all about him and Sonic. Nothing
That
else
sounds-
ever happened.
Sounds about right.
The teaching aid is them sitting in front of that trashy human TV and watching the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which is still better than Sonic Underground and Sonic X, in fairness.
He told him almost everything. When they met, the battle they had against Eggman, all of the new friends and foes they encountered in their path, the 7 Chaos Emeralds, the Master Emerald, the Perfect Chaos Affair, the Ark Incident in which they met Shadow the Hedgehog in brackets, Metal Overlord, the Black Arms Invasion.
Well, geez, when you put it this way, a lot has happened.
Etc. Especially, etc.
Yes, can you say that word again?
Etc.
Good.
All things that definitely attracted Void's attention, particularly 2 names, Eggman and Shadow, sounded so familiar to him for some reason. Tails explained their roles in the game.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Wait, what?
He's poking at the fourth wall.
Why?
That crafty smart past Madhog.
Why is it here? Why all of a sudden? Why are you suddenly acknowledging that this was a game all along without actually bragging about that you know this was a game all along? That's completely not my style.
Well, let's go and ask the past Madhog.
No.
Well, past Madhog, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. If you don't put me back into my world, I'm gonna run through you with the power of my dogamania.
It's a wrestling Madhog this time. Here, have a Twinkie. And go back.
It's a Slim Jim. You meant to say Slim Jim.
I do not know what that is.
Oh my god. We have to teach you everything.
Dr. Ivo Julian Robotnik, currently known as Eggman, was a brilliant scientist that, for some random motive plucked from thin air, desired to conquer the world with his machines. Sonic has been the one who always stopped his schemes, and Tails, with his intelligence that could easily match or even surpass the Doctor's own, gave him a hand, a big
A
hand.
big hand?
Well, whoa, Tails, keep tooting your own horn there.
I like that. Sonic did all the work, and also I was there. I helped.
As far as Shadow went, he's been created by Eggman's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, more than 50 years ago on the space colony Ark, as this world's ultimate life form.
Ultimate life form.
I am Shadow the Hedgelord.
He was still a mystery for everybody.
He's so mysterious, you guys. So is recounting the events of all the canonical games in the franchise going to amount to anything at all relevant to the story at hand? You already know the answer to that.
They were both sitting on the evening's couch.
The
Wait,
evening's coach! The evening's coach! They were sitting on a gym coach! Well, guys, we had the baseball game to win. You better start training.
I mean, they already consider humanity to be stupid and paranoid and racist race, so I guess it's okay for them to use one of them as foot, as something to rest their bums and feet.
I would like to think that the evening's coach they basically replaced with the day's coach and the afternoon's coach.
Also,
and the night's coach.
I clearly meant to say couch, but if that's the case, I have to ask, what the heck is an evening's couch? A couch that belongs to the night? I am Butt Couch! I am the night!
This learning session used to be one of the few, if not the only moments in which the Cedrian wasn't consumed by grief. As a matter of fact, his excitement was barely contained by his clothes.
Okay. I'm assuming he's wearing a straight jacket.
Does he actually wear any other clothes than gloves?
Well, he's wearing shoes? Question mark?
After that accident in Spagonia.
Spagonia.
Yeah.
Spagonia, the greatest country in the world.
In the middle of Europe, the great country of Spagonia.
Spagonia?
Void's first dress. Wait, dress? As in...
never mind, continue.
Like a woman's dress?
Dressed to kill.
Void's first dress was sequestrated by Gun itself. Scientific purposes, they said. Therefore, Tails had to find some new clothes for his guest. So it's like the Emperor's new clothes, except it's Void's clothes.
The analogy does not work in the slightest.
Because now he's actually wearing clothes.
No, because the Emperor's new clothes has absolutely nothing to do with this story, even remotely.
Exactly, just like everything else in this story.
Heyo!
Which happened to be a problem for him, since...
You can say that again.
Apart from gloves, socks, and sneakers, they wear socks.
Look at these beautiful shoes that I'm wearing!
He didn't have any. Most anthros, or at least male anthros, didn't need to wear clothes, thanks to their thick fur. When the girls have thin fur, that's what we're going to say.
Okay,
here.
listen, we will not navigate the complex social and political hierarchy behind this obvious double standard, so let's continue.
I mean, Sally Acorn doesn't wear clothes.
She wears a blouse.
Yes, this plant boy, on the other hand, had only his bare skin, and so he definitely needed something to wear.
So this is a series of information I really did not need to know. Thanks for that.
Luckily for them, a certain enthusiastic pink hedgehog was able to resolve the situation.
Oh, so he is going to wear a dress after all. Can you imagine Void in Amy's dress wear? Actually, I think he would look cute in that.
I would wear it.
Okay, you are free to wear whatever you want, Devar, but the real question here is, the real important question is that, could you pull it off? I don't think so.
Neither do I.
I mean, I am 50 kilograms, so I have
Yes,
the feminine form.
I mean, if you wear half your size, maybe?
Currently, Void was wearing the typical thug tracksuit, totally white in color. She managed to find a dress that matched his measures.
Ah, so he is wearing a dress. That's lovely.
It was meant for average 10-year-old human kids. A thing that, in Void's opinion, and probably in anyone else's, was seriously humiliating.
So is he strutting around, cosplaying as Shirley Temple?
Back
I
to
see it in my mind and I hate it.
Back to the present.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na.
Today, I want to talk to you about the latest crisis this world has witnessed, and by far the most serious. The Dark Gaia crisis.
There is a world-ending crisis every week, basically.
Tales added with an ominous tone, almost as if he was telling a scary bedtime story to a child. In a way, he was. Void stood tall in his sitting position. He was clearly curious by...
Also, we did not acknowledge this earlier, but curious is misspelled.
Yes, it is.
And now it reads curious, as in the plural of curio.
Yes.
Oh, I see this is going to be a crossover with Darkest Dungeon.
Also, I like
Listen,
how...
just because you learn of that particular word from Darkest Dungeon doesn't mean it's an exclusive of that game.
By the way, just so you know, it's weird to imagine somebody standing tall while sitting.
Unless they are really, really tall.
The story began...
Great! Let's hear the
Oh.
story of freaking Dark Gaia. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Dark Gaia crisis. Ooh, actually the world was literally broken in pieces. How many millions of people have died that day?
No one, apparently, because everyone's seen 5.
Bollocks!
Don't worry, they all had parachutes. They are okay.
Okay, it was a Sunday, so all the buildings were empty.
Dark Gaia used to be an enormous, hyper-energetic organism. A god, you could say.
How many gods can you fit into a Sonic universe?
Plenty, apparently.
Too many. That lived inside this planet's very core. That until Dr. Eggman didn't free him by destroying the planet into 7 different pieces. And all thanks to the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds and an uber powerful cannon from his spaceship. He wanted to use the powers of the beast in order to create his own empire, his Eggman Land. Seriously? He wanted
Yes.
to call his evil empire Eggman Land?
Yes.
Canonical, it's canonical as well.
Yep, it's canonical. That is actually what he did in Sonic Unleashed.
Did he want to kill his enemies in laughter?
Well, it was a giant amusement park, so maybe.
His Eggman Land, as he called it.
Oh, by the way, yes, creating his own empire with the power of the beast. I can just imagine the brilliant scheme. Dark Gaia plus question mark equals world domination.
By the way, Antagonist Archives research says he did this multiple times in the series. Powerful being he wants to use in order to...
I know, they are
his plan.
recycling the same plot from Sonic Adventure over and over and over.
just in a different flavor, except it's not. It's just covered.
Hey, let's see. Let's recount the many times in which she attempted to do that exact freaking stunt. Sonic Adventure 1, he wanted to harness the power of Chaos by feeding him Chaos Emeralds. It did not go well. Sonic Adventure 2, he tried to get the power of the ultimate life form, and then the arc didn't go so well. Let's see, he was out of commission for Sonic Heroes, technically.
Yes.
Sonic 2006, I will get the power of Solaris or the hidden whatever of Princess Elise or something along those lines. It's idiotic, and that also didn't pan out well. And every time he's forced to forge an uneasy alliance with the good guys when that happens. And then Sonic Unleashed, there is Dark Gaia, and then Sonic Colors, there are the the Wisps, and then in Sonic Lost World, the 7 Deadly Sins. I have a huge headache now.
By the way, the only time this has ever worked in Sonic Generations, took the Time Eater's powers and actually used it. And he
was still defeated.
Yep, he's still defeated though, but this time he actually won on that one. Anyway,
yes, progress.
Anyway, let's carry on.
Unfortunately for him and all of us, his hasty and idiotic actions almost caused our demise as the beast, once being complete, tried to engulf our shattered world into eternal darkness.
Yes, the game, we know.
Luckily, Sonic once again saved the situation and, with the power of the emeralds, he turned super and defeated the creature.
By now, Void must have noticed that all these stories about Sonic and Eggman tend to have the same ending.
and the same pattern.
Yes, the very same pattern and the same ending, basically.
Saving this filthy, ungrateful world for the upteenth time.
Okay, first of all, filthy, it wasn't there, you added it for no reason.
Yes, but
second of all,
would have been.
Tails, are you also angry at the world?
Now we go back to this.
And so, the world has been destroyed and then restored. This is stupid. This was definitely a messed up dimension, as Void realized. I just realized that my own terrible fanon actually is slightly less nonsensical than the official canon. And that realization is dreading.
Nope, Kingdom Hearts still makes more sense.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
no.
it does.
Hashtag yes.
Hashtag no, you fools.
Hashtag yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Moving on.
Yes, let's move on.
Okay. So, let me get this straight. There used to be a godlike creature inside the core of your world? A reasonably bewildered Sidrian asked.
And there it still is, right now.
What? And now he was utterly frightened. Get me out of this dimension! You people are all crazy! We were all going to die! Tails tried to reassure him. No, it's okay. We have a literal cosmic horror living in the core of our planet, waiting to be awakened again and kill us all, but it's okay. Sonic will defeat him.
But it's asleep now, and it'll be like it for another few million years.
Unless it's like Magmanamus, in which he gets awakened every time there is traffic.
Its awakening wasn't supposed to happen so early. There's nothing to worry about.
No problem here.
And then Lavos comes. Lavos.
Nothing to worry? Nothing to worry? You just told me there is a monster whose awakening could cause the destruction of Earth, leaving right under my feet, and you're telling me not to be worried about it? Your dimension is so stupid.
Yes?
The Vulpine said while wearing his best carefree expression for the occasion. I like the juxtaposition, the contrast here. Void is doom and gloom, and on the other side you see Tails with a bright expression and flowers around him.
Yeah, all sparkles, bubbles everywhere.
If he would have had pupils, Void would have certainly rolled them. You roll your eyes, but okay. I give up. I just can't understand your dimension. It's like living inside a fictional comic book universe or a video game or both.
Get it? You get it, Madhog? You get it?
That
Read your line.
That was clever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. By the way, I have some great news for you.
I'm pregnant!
Will that be a twist?
That is the wrong dimension. That's what we call the DeviantArt dimension, circa 2008. The fox chimed in. Have you found my princess? Void countered in false expectations. The kid's foxy ears lowered down, reflecting Tails' troubled feelings at the moment.
No, I meant today was that day.
Oh, that day! Yes, of course, that day! He said again, desperately trying to change the subject. That day, May 19th. The day in which the young interdimensional alien would have finally exited his forced prison and being presented to the world as a new friend of Tails. Void couldn't contain his joy. Happy, joy, joy.
Happy, joy, joy. Happy,
joy.
Or better, his sarcasm.
Happy, joy, sarcasm. Happy, joy, sarcasm.
Come on, it'll be fun. All you have to do is wear a couple of sunglasses and a hat, and nobody will ever recognize you.
You can't Clark Kent this.
Listen, actually you can, because A, people are dumb, and B, the cleverness of Superman hiding in plain sight was that he was simply wearing the facade of the everyday man that everybody ignores.
Yes, I know, but still, you can't Clark Kent this.
Listen, if the Ninja Turtles can go around New York wearing nothing but trench coats, then he can most certainly Clark Kent this.
I mean, usually they also wore rubber masks that really hit the uncanny valley.
Oh gosh.
I don't know which version of the TMNT you are talking about, but...
the 80s cartoon.
I don't remember the rubber masks at all. I remember only the trench coats.
I remember the rubber masks.
Me as well, actually. Oh gosh.
By the way, I just want to take a small aside to tell you that Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is absolutely the chef's kiss. Okay. It is great. Watch it.
I've heard good things about it.
The young kid was too enthusiastic for being stopped.
Don't worry, Amy and I will be with you. I think that is a reason to worry.
I'd be especially worried. If he would have had pupils, Void would have... Oh wait, I've already said that. Well, okay. As if on cue, the obnoxious and dramatically loud voice of this world's Amy Rose made its way through the boys' delicate ears. In just a few nanoseconds, Tails regretted in letting Amy know about his guest.
Are you guys ready? It's shopping time.
Dun, 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 dun,
I should say that
dun.
I should say it properly because like, are you guys ready? It's shopping time.
Now that sounds like Amy.
And the guys just sighed. There was no escape from this hell, nor from any other, apparently.
Are you kidding? I would like shopping.
I hate shopping.
The only time I don't like shopping is if it takes too long.
That's normal shopping! Solitude is a sickness, therefore it could be cured. Okay, are we all going to be down with the sickness then?
Down with the sickness.
I wanna heal, I wanna feel what I thought was never real. More lyrics.
Yes, and
We shall
even more
ignore them.
lyrics when it
I
comes to
wanna let
chapter
go
2.
of the pain I've held so long. Erase all the pain till it's gone. I wanna heal, I wanna feel, etc.
Etc., etc., etc. As it
And
all
with
goes
that-
down the drain.
And with that, we have finished chapter 1 of
Of
Void
3.
Within, Void of Solitude.
Girl.
Ballastmäki, go back to thrilling intent.
Yes, we also use the girl for another character. That
Yeah,
we-
the priest of love.
Yes, from Angels of Death. At the time, Devar was not aware of Ballast McGee, so now he associates that with that priest character.
But surely, since he's a man of great taste, he now knows Ballastmäki and is watching thrilling intent.
Probably not. Are you?
Like I have time for that.
Devar, I am very disappointed.
But I'm doing important things.
What
Such
could be
as?
more important?
Keeping my wife happy? Well,
You're married?
fiancé? No, not
Okay.
married, yeah, just fiance still.
You could watch it together and then you'll both be happy. So
Ah,
that sounds better.
we've got a lot of things on our plate right now, so
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
anyway, so
Yes, Devar, you go.
chapter 2. I'm skipping the lyrics as always.
Hashtag yes.
Awkwardness seemed to be the key word for the young Cedrian, especially since everybody's gaze was on him and his other 2 acquaintances.
I like this. Doom and gloom and suicidal depression on one chapter, funny hijinks on the second one, with barely any form of transition between the 2 tones.
Okay, let's see how racist these people will be.
Hopefully they will not, otherwise they all have to die.
The city of Station Square used to be some kind of modern and technological utopia,
It's not
Oh.
anymore?
or in Void's point of view, a gigantic show-off of worthless high-tech cars and latest fashion dressed people. And to his dismay, all of them were humans!
Humans!
Yeah, those
It's so-
filthy, pesky humans.
So, is this the plot twist that Void, who killed racists, is racist himself?
This seems like a Dexter's kind of twist, honestly. He's killing psychopaths, but he's a psychopath himself.
But
Huh?
do you think Madhog put that much thought into this?
No.
Clearly
obvi-
not, but
ob-
neither did the writers of Dexter.
For obvious reasons. He didn't feel really at ease with these overlanders.
I wish they would stop staring at us. I have anxiety now.
He whispered. The 2-tailed vulpine beside him just sighed.
You'll get used to it eventually.
It was a lie! To tell the truth, Tails did never get used to other people's curiosity.
Oh wow, big mood.
Amy Rose, on the other hand, liked the attention.
Ah! Read
well.
the room, Amy!
Was
Well,
too-
not quite.
Amy Rose, on the other hand, was too absorbed in her own girlish thoughts to notice it.
Sonic, 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 Silver? Sonic, 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 Sonic.
Shadow?
Shadow. Sonic, Sonic, Sonic. I can kill you.
she hadn't stopped blabbering since the three of them left the secluding security of the Mystic Ruins. Yes, the undisclosed secured Mystic Ruins.
Yes, the Miles Power secret base. Now opening a new bed and breakfast.
To come to the big city. In order to avoid any possible detection, Lloyd had to bring some further camouflage items other than his despised white tracksuit.
Listen, if you don't like the tracksuit, I'm sure you can find more clothes or articles of clothing to wear.
Like a burlap sack or a trench
Like a
coat.
burlap sack.
A potato sack.
He's a plant, not a root vegetable.
Or a 7-Eleven plastic bag. How about that?
He had a red-white beret on his head, covering
Beret.
his... I thought it says beret because that's what you call those type of hats. Anyway.
Well, when I say beret or beret, I actually meant to say cap.
Oh, cap. Covering
Yes.
his suspicious green pointed bushy hair and a couple of cool looking sunglasses
Cool dude!
on his black eyes. You probably didn't need the actual sunglasses.
You could have just drawn the frame around his eyes.
Yes, I'm going to say that. Which happened to be his most recognizable details. And finally, he wore white gloves on his gruesome hands. Thanks to Tails' scientific know-how, this gloves resembled perfectly normal 5-fingered hands.
As normal as those gigantic hands can be on these small creatures.
I don't think adding some extra fingers is going to make them any less noticeable.
A fact that made the Cedrian wonder if that was the real reason of why his foxy host and all of his anthro friends seemed to wear those gloves.
Oh yes, they all are very conscious about their gross, disgusting animal paws, that they wear gloves in order to fit better in human society. Honestly, that's an interesting story in its own right.
Were they ashamed of their appendages too? Did they have horrible clawed paws instead of normal hands? For a few moments, he entertained the idea of actually asking them, but then he thought otherwise. There are some secrets best left not known. There were things in this world, or in any world for that matter, that need to remain untold. I was joking.
Of course I was going to say that. Don't you
God-
know me?
God damn
Don't you know me? Have we
Tails-
not met?
Tails gave a good look at him, showing a rather sore expression. Need some cream for that, mate?
What?
Asked the Void, clearly bothered by that.
Void, you are standing on my toes!
Why is that so funny?
But seriously, what Tails says, we need to find you some new clothes. You look like a gangster rapper.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
This
Boy,
reminds me of all those dumb orcs in Bright, dressed as gangster rappers.
Oh.
And they held their crotches like this, as if they're gonna, lose their genitals if they even let go.
Yes, Bright is a really, really dumb version of what Onward is going to be.
Even though he had no earthly idea what gangster rapper was, one could easily tell he didn't like that comment.
Fair warning, I don't particularly care for hip-hop.
Don't watch the latest trailer for Doom Eternal then.
I mean, okay, it ultimately depends on the context. You were the one who gave me this blasted outfit in the first place.
He retorted, irritation visible in his partially covered facial features. Before any of them could start a deceptive argument about good taste and stuff like that,
And stuff like that.
the unmistakable, obnoxious voice of their female companion became the impending signal of male's greatest menace.
All these words have capital letters.
To be honest, this kind of reminds me of a Harry Enfield sketch, you know, that takes the mickey out of the 40s propaganda films, but basically say, women, know your place.
That sounds
Yes!
hilarious.
We reached the mall! It's shopping time!
Da 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 da.
This has been the only line you've said, Amy. It's shopping time. Is it like...
It's clobbering time, yes.
No, I was going to say, it's combat time, that Sonya from Defenders of the Realm said.
Yes, even I am wincing at that.
Well, at least the upcoming new Mortal Kombat movie is looking quite good.
How about that Spawn trailer, though, guys, for Mortal Kombat?
11.
Yes.
You know,
I mean,
Spawn
internet
seems
is
like a
Spawn.
natural fit for Mortal Kombat.
He has the most coolest fatality of everybody so far. Anyway, a frowning well frown now was printed on the guy's gaze. Guy's gaze. That sounded cool.
No,
No.
No.
no,
No.
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 After a few painful hours of forced hold my baggage and how do I look? Does my bum look big in this sessions?
There is no true answer for that one.
The trio finally found a minute of pause from the mall frenzy.
The Mall Frenzy, the new horror by Jordan Peele.
Look, guys, I'm sorry if you feel that way about my shopping expeditions, but this is how it is with me.
I am experiencing flashbacks of shopping with my mom and sisters.
Funny, me too.
I have this same shopping experience, but with my big brother.
Were you
Were you-
forcing your big brother to go on shopping sprees?
No, it was much worse. He's actually much worse than me because he was looking for a pair of trousers and he couldn't decide.
Does this make me look fat?
It was more on lines of, do these trousers look good on me? Anyway.
How do I look? Hold my baggage sessions.
Okay, they were currently sitting on a table of a fast food restaurant inside that very large building. A humongous pile of baggage stood right behind the now more unnerved than ever Cedrian. This is probably not helping with his depression, is it?
I guess, you know, fear for his mortal soul is a good distraction from feeling depressed.
He had...
Maybe he doesn't, at least he doesn't feel empty now.
No, with all the baggage he has to carry, he's pretty
Literal
full.
baggage.
Literal baggage!
He had the sincere fear that these mountain of dresses would very well devour his soul if given of the proper chance.
Oh, what-
This is aged
what do you
so
know?
well.
I was right!
This is aged so well, hasn't it?
In what sense?
I was going to ask about that.
Well, I mean, to me, it's never... These sort of things never aged well, even in the 90s, in my point of view.
Oh, you mean the very specific trope about, oh, going out to shop is so boring. Ah! And everything is exaggerated to that end.
Yeah.
You need to realize that you are very much in the minority when it comes to the male shopping experience.
Yeah, that was pretty much my reaction every time I had to go shopping. Because if I needed pants, I tried a few and chose the one that fit and felt comfortable. And
I never go out shopping. When I go out, I know what I want to buy, and I am in and out as fast as possible because I want to go back home and being cozy in my bed.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Anyway.
But it was always either my mom or my sisters who said to me, still try this one, and this one, and this one, and this
We
one.
were all kids at one point.
Anyway, let's continue. Ice Path leading
Yes,
into
this
your
will
line.
devour your soul if given of the proper chance.
Why don't you try to relax a bit, Boyd? You've been on the edge the whole morning.
Well,
I just
he's
say,
an edgelord.
Can I just say that you added try to relax when it says try in relax a bit?
Why
Oh,
don't you
I
try in relax a bit?
Is that a new
It's
drug?
it's a new drug. I was about to say it. It's a new drug.
A new drug of relax. It will soothe your soul.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tails just looks at the camera and goes like, I try in relax, guys, to get myself feeling much more less stressed.
Unfortunately, he's so absolutely baked that he accidentally produces a bar of Mentos instead of the product he was supposed to advertise.
Okay, try the Kitsune, who was sitting on the boy's left side. You should get off him. He needs the space, you know. Void was not having a good day. As a matter of fact, to say that he felt awkward with all these foreign and taller people around would have been an utter euphemistic understatement.
Void is so relatable all of a sudden.
He was actually shaking and trembling like a leaf during autumn. A poetic pun, isn't it?
First of all, shut up. Second of all, you guys are supposed to be his friends. He's clearly not comfortable with this. Take him away.
He was also sweating, cold sweat, on the verge of crying. This was too much for him.
You guys are
Whoa.
terrible friends. Amy, what the heck?
Suddenly we are back to existential crisis and mental breakdowns. I thought it was supposed to be funny shenanigans.
It's not funny for the person who doesn't want to be there because they have anxiety, and clearly being around people doesn't help.
Too many people observing him, staring at him, judging him. Too many people at all. Paranoia didn't late to arrive.
This again! This again!
What is this didn't late thing?
I don't know. Is it the new all her might?
I don't know what you're trying to say here originally.
Paranoia did not take a long time to arrive. There.
They was
Oh.
most certainly trying.
Okay,
They. No.
he said, starting to panic.
What?
Tails asked back.
They recognized me. They know who I am. They want to kill me. And I ain't going to kill them first. Produces a machete. And I deserve it.
Void was having some difficulties in breathing.
Oh boy.
The kid beside him felt utterly bad for him.
Don't feel bad for him. Do something. Help him. He's having a panic attack.
And for himself too.
Oh,
This is
I remember you.
Time for self-pity.
Oh.
Tails, this is not the time to be, being all about you.
Yeah, it's all about Sonic. Like in his stories.
Yes, even in his own theme song, it is all about him trying to catch up to Sonic. He has no agency for himself.
He promised he would have done anything unhumanely possible to help him yet.
Close enough.
He apparently wasn't doing a very good job.
You don't say, you egotistical jerkbag.
Amy
Don't
noticed
say.
the plant boy's discomfort too, and felt bad as well.
Oh, we all feel so bad for you having a freaking panic attack right at this moment, but we're not going to do anything about it. Oh, no, because that would be for the weak.
Her ever so happy gaze suddenly turned into a caring, pitying one. Pity's not a good thing to say in this context.
Sympathy, maybe it's a lot less emasculating, I guess.
Without saying anything, she rose from her seat
Boo.
and darted towards the Cedrian, hugging him tightly. Whoa, space Amy. like a loving mother would do with her child.
We are not that close, Amy.
He was still trembling like a lost kid in a dark wood.
Oh my gosh.
Shh. It's okay. No one is going to hurt you. Super Amy will protect you.
Super Amy al rescate!
So wait, you have all the Chaos Emeralds, Amy, and you're just going to turn super for everybody just for this one moment?
I bet you would like to see that, wouldn't you?
I wish I could share an artist's depiction of Super Amy now, because it looked cool, but I
Let
don't...
me guess, she was pink.
No, it was actually golden and looked really cool. I should see if I can find that some point after this. Okay, she said while caressing the back of his head. That seemed to calm him a little. He returned the hug. Tails was speechless and eyes widened.
Wow, a completely random act of physical affection. Why didn't I think of that?
Wow, Amy is a natural-born mother.
Yes, because she's a girl! Get it?
I got to marry Dad, he thought.
Not in this dimension.
I'm sure there are a few dimensions out there for that specific need.
That's what fanfiction is for.
Yes, I think that was implied. What do you think dimensions are? What do you think alternate dimensions are, if not somebody's fanfiction?
Oh god, imagine if someone basically made the ultimate fanfiction that took fanfiction universes of every universe of fanfiction from fanfiction.net.
We already have that. It's called Kingdom Hearts. But
He then slowly turned his head towards the other customers of the restaurant, which they were all staring at the scene in amazement.
wait,
A clothes shop.
Yes, I thought that too. I'm lost. I am geographically lost.
I wouldn't precisely call a fast food joint a restaurant.
Oh, it was a fast food joint.
Yeah,
Okay.
they say that they are the fast food joint at the mall.
Tails scratched the back of his head in the traditional shy manner.
He just had a raving shopping session with Amy.
He justified.
It was a rave.
Okay, no, I love this. So basically everybody knows that Amy is obsessed with shopping. The entire world. Some rando on the street, you can pull off that excuse and they will be fine with that. Okay, that explains everything. I've been there, brother.
I mean, I can believe that, especially if this is her usual place.
Tails, roll deception.
Natural 20.
The humans were instantly convinced and returned to their own matters.
They even gave them free gifts.
And ooh, a costume party on Booty Island's mansion.
Why?
I don't know, Monkey Island reference.
I know, but why?
In the meantime, Void finally managed to pull himself together. He took a deep breath and spoke.
Super Amy? Do I look like a 6 years old? That's a trick question, right?
He lamented. She just smiled, her sweetest smile. Well, you're wearing a 10-year-old kid outfit. He humphed, crossed his arms in a very childish manner, then looked the pink hedgehog in her emerald eyes. He frantically...
Thank you! Ah!
He frantically muttered.
No, I like to think that he cannot utter the words thank you to save his life.
She smiled again, clearly pleased by his appreciation.
I am very appreciative of your appreciation of my appreciation of your appreciation.
Tails looked relieved too. Having Amy around wasn't just a burden as he first feared when he phone called her almost a month ago.
Let's have a flashback to that very same conversation. Oh, you're going to love this conversation, I can tell instantly.
Hello? Who's that? Sonic?
Sonic, is that you? You finally called me back? I knew you would! Oh, God!
No, it's me, Amy.
Oh.
Oh, Mr. Pickles?
It's Professor Pickles to you!
Hi, Tails. What
You
can I
can
do for you?
sense the disappointment in her tone.
Uh-huh.
What can I do for you? You're second best after all.
Listen, Amy, I need to hide. The British Hunting Club found me. I do not know if they found my secret workshop.
Yes, it was so well hidden. Oh no, they must have seen through my clever disguise as Miles Power. Oh my gosh. I even tried to distract them with a local gift shop selling dead animal skins that sing songs about John Muir.
Well, there is this friend of mine. He's not having a very good period lately. And Madhog? No.
I can't believe you're laughing.
Because I'm thinking of how you would react to this. And so I'm just
Yes.
preemptively giggling.
But I have standards.
Now that's funny. No, that's hysterical. Oh my gosh.
And I am seriously worried about his well-being. And I thought you could help me in, let's say, cheering him up.
With shopping?
Although Tails couldn't see it, from the other side of the line, Amy's face brightened.
I'm pretty sure he could sense the rainbow and sunshine through the freaking phone.
The receiver suddenly became a spotlight. Someone was actually asking her help. Her help!
I see. Amy is actually suffering from depression as well.
The need to feel like as if your existence is wanted by people.
Exactly. Honestly, that's a much more interesting character than just Sonic, 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 Silver, Sonic.
Shadow?
Yeah. Anyway, I'll be glad to help you, Tails. Who is he?
You don't know him. He's an interdimensional alien who's hiding from the government.
I see. That's terrible and all. He's a what?
Nice.
And she says, that's terrible and all. And then she's quiet. Then it's like she's showering, she's brushing her teeth, she's having breakfast, she's outside doing something.
She's driving and then, he's what? And she has a few accidents.
Well, let's hope that this phone call was over a secure line.
Yeah.
Or maybe the NSA decided that Amy is not worth listening to because most of the time she's just asking everyone who's calling her if they are Sonic.
Yes, honestly, I think the government, the CIA and GUN or whatever it is that exists in this world has given up on spying on Amy entirely. Because she is so unbearable.
And maybe that was intentional on Amy's part so that they would stop spying on her.
That's also a story that needs to happen.
Yes.
It's your turn, Icy Boy.
Oh, I get to continue. For obvious reasons, when he told Amy about this gruesome situation, he cleverly omitted the part in which the alien accidentally killed 2 persons in that cursed hospital in Spagonia.
Spagonia also. It's okay to say people or humans. Persons just sounds clunky at best.
So, Void, that's a sad name, you know. Yeah, that helps.
Oh my gosh, Amy! He did not choose that name! It was given to him! Jeez, Amy! Your
were doing
diplomacy!
so well, Amy.
You did well for a second. You roll a natural 20 in
Motherhood.
Motherhood, yes, why not? But you failed your diplomacy check. It's one of the... First of all, screw you, Amy, your name sucks. It's one of the few things I remembered of my former self. And by the way, I'm certainly not an happy person.
You don't say. Void countered, lowering his head and looking at his red/white tails like Snickers. The trio was now having a relaxing walk in the city's central park. Or better, the pink hedgehog and the Cedrian were having a relaxing walk. Tails was cursing under his breath while being forced to drag Amy's dresses around. Therefore, he's been left behind by the two of them.
That sounds about right.
Oh god.
Oh no! Oh no! Why? Why would you do this to me?
Let me really
Why?
get to you properly. Don't be sad, boy Duchan. You're not alone.
Now he is. He's alone forever. It's better than being around you. Why is Amy turning into a freaking weeb?
I don't know. Let's ask past Madhog.
I was waiting for that.
Well, past Madhog, what do you have to say for yourself?
Hasta la vista, baby.
It's the future. We shall not talk about this.
Anyway, Void Duchan?
Bewilderment was showed in Void's gaze.
Yeah, it's your new nickname. Don't you like it?
It sucks.
I gave one even to my dear Sonic.
Maybe that's why he doesn't want to hang with you. And that would be...
And what would that be?
Sonic-Coo!
It's almost like Sonic Chew.
Oh, come here, my darling Sonic. We're gonna get married and have all the kids.
I think I broke Madhog.
No, I'm fine.
Oh no! Narrating.
Void Duchan just rolled his inexistent pupils under his sunglasses. Apparently, this world's Amy Rose had a serious thing towards this Sonic character. Or better, she was crazily obsessed about him like a certain cartoon-like bear over picnic baskets. To say the very least.
Hey, Sonic! Hey, Sonic-Coo! Hey, go out with me!
Hey there, Sonic-Coo. I'm smarter than the average hedgehog that wants to go out with you.
I'm sure there is fanfiction about that.
Wait, Tails is Boo-Boo then? Oh, Sonic, I don't know about that.
Oh my gosh, imagine Sonic as Yogi Berra. Like, hey there, Tails, my buddy old pal.
We're going to steal those Chaos Emeralds from Ranger Eggman?
Oh no, it's Amy Rose. You're like Cindy Bear.
Okay, I know I keep saying this, but this is the most accursed session of Dramatis Lectio to date.
Is it really?
Maybe.
Is it really?
You know, we can always stop ourselves next time.
Okay, the back to say the very least.
Can you stop putting things into the chat? No!
What is it?
No!
Oh,
No, this is just ugly. Absolutely ugly. What am I even looking in this picture?
This is cursed.
Yogi Bear and Boo Boo as drawn like Sonic characters.
The proportions are all wrong to be Sonic characters.
It's also cursed.
Yogi is too lanky.
Okay,
I know he should have been drawn like Vic the Cat.
Yeah, let me continue. I'm gonna continue, okay? He's my hero and the love of my life. Did you know that he saved me from this evil metallic clone?
I think Tails has not gotten around to tell that story yet.
Voidu-chan, I must stop calling him like that, nodded.
Agreed.
He saved our world so many times, I can't count. Even when he was turned into a werehog,
He was turned into what?
But Tails went over that story, I thought.
He might have glossed over the detail of Sonic being a freaking hedge wolf.
A sudden panic Cetrian abruptly interrupted the hedgehog's daydreaming.
I like to think that he's going to look at Tails suspiciously now.
Oh, werehog Sonic was so man-cakey.
He had some heavy difficulties in accepting the fact that the humongous godlike monster was asleep under the soil, although he occasionally tiptoed.
Which is my power.
Although he occasionally tiptoed as if in fear of accidentally causing his premature awakening. But this was a whole another shocker to deal with.
Okay, I'm going to say this. If this was a story about, just some random everyday character reacting to the absolute insanity of the Sonic world, this would have been much more fun as a story. And much more funny as well.
Yeah.
Amy tilted her head.
Didn't Tails tell you about it? Sonic's been like that for all the Dark Gaia Crisis period.
I guess Tails did gloss over that detail.
I wonder why.
Void turned his head over the now slightly worried Kit behind him.
I like to imagine when he turns his head, it's like...
Yes, me too. We are on the same wavelength when it comes to our stock cartoon sound effects.
Like in Exorcist.
Sure.
Sorry, it must have slipped from my mind. Besides, I didn't want to spoil the game too much. He said.
Oh, the game?
Never mind that, he replied.
Oh, this is already the dumbest twist in the universe.
Why is this giving me the vibes of that one movie Jim Carrey starred? The one,
Which one?
The one where he's playing as the normal guy and his life is a television show.
You mean The Truman Show? It's only one of his most famous and celebrated performances.
I forgot the title of it. It slipped my mind for a second.
It's The Truman Show.
Yeah. Well, why am I getting vibes like that? Except it's with Sonic and his friends being video game characters, only they're aware of it.
Maybe because he literally said it's a game.
Suddenly, it happened. Void stood still on his spot, immobile like a statue. Something wasn't quite right. Someone was observing him. No, someone was doing something to him.
I knew it! I flipping knew it! We're having this moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see it.
He started breathing asthmatically. He put his fake gloved hand on his heart. He was also sweating. He was having a panic attack.
It's only the third one today.
Void? Void! What's wrong? The kitsune yelled while dropping the package and rushing towards his side.
No, my dresses!
Voidu-chan?
Amy, for the love of Christ, our Lord and Savior, drop the weeb act.
Amy, who was the closest to him, tried to calm him down, but to no avail. He looked desperate, on the verge of tears, terrified. His mind and body were experiencing an atrocious pain. The physical manifestation of his internal sorrows was slowly but eagerly devouring his own being. He fell on his knees, dropping his sunglasses and beret in the process.
Not the sunglasses!
His face was twisted and contorted by the pain and the forgotten memories who desperately tried to re-enter the Cetrian's consciousness. Both Tails and Amy were panicking as well, obviously unable to help him. And then the young right-hand girl felt something on her hand, something warm and liquid. To her dismay, it was the Cetrian's green vital fluid.
You can say blood! You can say blood! Say blood!
Or sap.
Sap doesn't quite have the same gravitas now, does it?
True. He started coughing out his own blood. Oh, now they are saying it. All over Amy's dress and Tails' fur. Help! Somebody please help him! Tails cried to the people around in the park. I can see where this is going.
Me too.
Unfortunately for them, now that Void's camouflage was lost.
Yes, all of that camouflage, sunglasses and a beret. Completely inconspicuous.
Someone did recognize the suffering plant boy as the infamous black-eyed monster who caused all that mess in Spagonia.
Well, Black-Eyed Monster is not a terribly creative name, but at least they did not name him the One-Eyed Monster.
Yeah.
The Zikinator Falls!
Yeah, I mean, obviously every random person walking on the street is going to recognize the one person in that one away country that had no pictures taken of them who killed 2 people.
It was never established there were no pictures taken of him. You know, there are security cameras in hospitals, typically.
Not good ones usually, but anyway.
No, but, you know, he has the most unique features in the entire planet, so...
Someone screamed, someone else ran away, and everything turned into a total disaster.
Now we have to kill them all. They know! They must die! Picks up the machete.
Void said while finally stopping his bloody cough.
It's too late now.
It's too late!
It's no use! Oh no.
Voidu-chan!
Can you drop the Voidu-chan, please? He's dying! My name is Void! Stay away from me! Finally, thank you.
He cried. In a sudden outburst of feral instincts, the black-eyed monster removed his gloves and attacked Amy with his lethal claws.
Okay, the first time it happened, it was an accident. The second time, it was still a bit woozy after the operation and it was acting on instincts. Now, it's a pattern.
Yeah,
now,
he can't help himself.
Now, he's attacking somebody. Straight up attacking somebody, and there is no justifying this.
Except the author's wish to torment Void. Because suffering is the meaning of life and all that jazz.
Anyway, let's continue.
When he realized his mistake, it was already too late. Amy Rose lay on the ground with the nasty-looking wound on her left hip side.
No, not Amy!
Well, she is dead. She is no more.
Not quite.
Well, in that case, it is not too late.
But, you know, death usually doesn't late to arrive.
Except here. Void's expression was unreadable and unbearable, the portrait of immense guilt.
So it is very readable and recognizable.
Tails was quick on Amy's side. His big, sad blue eyes fixed themselves on the Cetrian. No words were shared between the two of them. Their facial features spoke for them. He did it again. He attacked an innocent being.
Well, in fairness, it's Amy.
Ouch. He felt her own blood on his disfiguring appendage. He was a monster, all in all. and he didn't deserve to live with others. He didn't deserve company. He didn't deserve love.
I agree.
He was a cursed being, and his condemned had a name. Solitude.
Title drop.
Tears descended from his black orbit.
That takes away from the
Cool tears down his feces.
While he darted away from his latest victim and his would-be friend, from his only links to this world. The namesake emptiness inside his own soul just grew bigger thanks to the erosive doing of his despair.
Ugh.
It was now a deep, cold cliff, and the suffering cliffhanger disappeared into the gunning jaws of the great city. His true hell has just begun.
Written by Frank Miller.
And so the sickness just became a cancer.
Oh, wow!
Whoa, just look at all this angsty edge.
The edge. Wow,
is
it's so sharp.
The edge is so sharp you can cut a whale with it.
Much
Oh my
angst,
gosh.
all the edge,
Oh,
so deep dark.
how could this happen to me?
Well, we have one more chapter left to go if you want to finish it tonight.
Yes, I think we might be able to do that.
Yeah, we can finish it.
Just as long as we don't get distracted for the next hour.
Well, it's
Ooh,
us. No! They will find me. They are so close. No. No, 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 no. Muda, 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 muda. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. It was not my fault. I couldn't. I need to know who or what I am. Why am I like this? Cursed. This is a weird episode of BoJack Horseman, let me tell you.
I am all of me. I am all of me.
Yes, you know what? That song wouldn't feel out of place in Code Vein, come to think of it.
Bet you someone modded it in the PC version.
Oh my. Angst was consuming his fragile mind. His clothes were still stained with her blood.
It was delicious, by the way.
Her soft, warm, innocent blood.
That doesn't sound sexual now, does it?
I mean, if this was a Castlevania fic, then yes.
You say that, but every fandom will suffice.
Yes. Anyway.
She only tried to help me. She sucked at it, but she tried. They both were doing their best to help me, to help this undeserving, pathetic creature who could barely remember his own name. His name, Voidu-chan.
Voidu-chan.
Grief had the better of him. A whole lot ago, he stood alone in the deep jaws of this city's downtown, alone, engulfed with solitude, suffering his heart out of his little form, regretting everything he'd done, even though the fault wasn't his own. I beg to differ. He did believe otherwise. I shouldn't even be alive. Yes, let them find me. Let them kill me. I deserve it. There is nothing left for me to live. Oh my God.
What am I fighting for?
Suddenly, his damaged mind fixed itself once again on the everlasting image of his beloved one, the one he didn't even know the name. The lavender cat girl that tormented him in his dreams.
Ooh, oh, kinky.
He sighed. I sighed.
We
Or
all
better.
sighed.
He cried. We all cried. For what he knew, she could have died, and it bothered him. The fact that he couldn't remember it. He sat on the dirty ground, besides a trash container and some spare rat and cockroach. It's nice to have a spare rat and cockroach when you need them.
Yeah, nice to have props for the scene.
He hugged his knees and sobbed quietly, incapable of understanding his surroundings, this whole world, and his own self too. The unmistakable and ominous sound of police sirens echoed through his delicate hearing system. His hearing system. Sure.
Sure.
This was sponsored by Nintendo.
They were looking for him. They would find him eventually. He had a choice. He could stay there, waiting for their arrival and accepting his fate. Or he could fight and live through all this. And why? Because despite everything that happened, despite everything that will probably happen, he still had hope. You did not really give me that impression at all up until now.
Well, this is news to me.
He wanted so bad to find himself again, to find his memory and his past, and to find her, whether being alive or not. He was alone in this world. He would have to accept that in order to survive. He was a danger for everyone who dared to near him. Okay, that's a sentence. It's not quite didn't late to arrive, but it's close. But as he realized, he would have needed to break away from his own griefs and torments in order to step up and live. Oh, so I guess he's just going to get over himself. Like that.
I guess he all he had to do was live and learn.
Hanging on the edge of tomorrow, which, as we established, the edge is very sharp. No more self-pitying, no more twisting sorrows. Character development mode activate!
I will
No
magically
more.
fix everything in this one emotional, scene.
I guess no more so-called friends. He was on his own, and he needed to carry on, or die trying. For the first time.
Look, kids, he's a cool rebel that needs no man or woman.
Sure. But a nice Daisy? Sign me up. He's a plant. For the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, well, he is going after a cat, not another plant.
Yes, but maybe Void, or I'm sorry, I meant to say Voidu-chan. It was the plant they used to extract catnip from. Wouldn't that be a twist?
Not really.
For the first time since his tragic awakening in that hospital, Void realized that he wanted to live, wanted to fight with all his might.
With all his might. Counter goes up to 2.
Yes, thank you for keeping track of that nonsense. No more self-pitying, no more twisting sorrows, blah 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 blah. For the first time since his tragic awakening in that hospital, I read all this already. Slowly, but convincingly, the white-dressed Sidrian rose from the ground. Determination was visible in his namesake eyes. The emptiness of his soul was starting to be filled with hope and stubborn will, exactly what he desperately needed in this hour.
But they never came.
The sirens were even closer now. He had to move. He started running through the deepest part of this ominous city. It was already night time. He ran past bums and bewildered prostitutes. I thought you might like to know that there are bums and bewildered prostitutes in the city, just in case you want some realism in this Sonic fanfiction. Feral cats and dogs. Oh, look, Void, it's a cat! Have sex with it.
Oh no!
Street thugs and so on. The sirens still after him. What? I thought he was after some pussy. Listen, the level of this writing, of this literature is extremely low. In this context, I'm allowed to go about as low because it doesn't deserve my best.
Yeah.
If it cannot take me at my worst, it doesn't deserve me at my best.
I thought you were on your worst when you wrote this.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean now. The sirens still after him, still close. Man is in the forest.
Man.
Cursed ghosts. Honestly, whenever I think of that really creepy, scary theme for the hunter in Bambi, I have goosebumps running down my back. Few notes achieve so much primal and primordial terror into the souls of animals and the children watching this film. It is incredibly effective. Do you remember that?
I do.
Da-na-na,
Unfortunately,
da-na-na.
I don't. It has been
Honestly, it just gives me existential terror every time I hear those few notes. They were so effective. Finally, he found shelter in an abandoned alley, which happened to be a dead end. Darn!
So not much shelter.
Not at all. He was trapped like a mouse. To his relief, however, the sirens faded away, because it turns out they were not chasing him, they were arresting all the bums and prostitutes, because this town is run by Mayor Giuliani. Topical Bush-era commentary, methinks. Or even earlier than that. Anywho, only to be substituted by a low chuckle. Who's there? A chuckle that suddenly became a growl. What do you want from me? A growl that became a snarl. No, please don't. A snarl that soon became a roar. Ow! How much more can you escalate this? No, it can't be happening. No! The unmistakable roar of a feral beast. It was Hulk smash. It was finally visible now. During the last day, it caused the Sidrian to lose control. It tried to possess him, or at least to test his resilience. Now it was dark, and this being's other form just showed up. And it was right in front of him, right in front of the terrified Sidrian. The werehog has arrived, and it wanted him.
What? A werehog?
The werehog didn't late to arrive.
Oh my gosh.
And so, he finally met me, this world's Solitude, this tale's narrator.
Sonic,
I have to say, I did not expect that Sonic to beat Solitude.
Honestly, I did not see this coming at all because it doesn't make sense, mostly, but
that's
still.
right.
The beast had dark fur, its squeals were humongous and his eyes were red as blood. He didn't mutter a single word, it just grabbed the arm of the fear-petrified boy. Suddenly, something rather peculiar happened. The creature's powers started to be absorbed by the unwilling Sidrian, who screeched in utter pain for that. What is happening right now?
I don't know. You are the Sonic experts here.
Yeah.
When it was all over, the beast returned to its normal aspect. Its daylight aspect, I should say. Wait, you are the narrator saying this. Why are you still talking about the beast in third person? Oh, whatever, it's not like I care. Baka, he's normal, black-furred, red-striped, crimson-eyed, hedgehog aspect? What?
Oh, now
What?
it makes more sense.
Oh.
It was Shadow.
Oh, wait, I think I know what's happening here, and I hate it. And this world's Shadow the Hedgehog smirked to his young victim, clearly satisfied with his handiwork. By now, Void has fallen on the ground, shaking like mad. His eyes were widened, and the saliva that came out from his mouth suggested that he was having a seizure. The ultimate life form lowered himself to the boy's height and whispered something that Void would have never forget as long as he would have lived.
This power, it is your burden now. Have fun with him.
And then he just disappeared into the darkness of the night.
In the dark of the night, Madhog will find you.
Not so long after Shadow left, which is me, the narrator. An acute, disfiguring pain engulfed Void's chest as if ready to blow up from the inside. He couldn't breathe, he couldn't think. It was unbearable. I'm going to stop with the Shadow voice because it's going to kill my own voice.
Yeah.
His suffering screams of agony echoed through the downtown, scaring all of its inhabitants out of their pants. All the bums and bewildered prostitutes and feral cats and dogs living together in mass hysteria. He didn't know for how much time it lasted. A minute, an hour, the whole night. Who knew? So let me get this straight. He already had a curse of his own, what with the whole turning into a maniacal killer.
And now he's been
randomly,
double cursed.
And now he's been double cursed with a werehog from Shadow? I have all the question marks right now.
Yes, like how Shadow knew of Void's existence.
Would it be like a were-seed or were-drian?
Okay, were
Were-plant.
essentially means man or human. So, werehog essentially means human hedgehog, and default Sonic already is that.
Yes.
So it should have been Wolfhog.
Edgewolf or wolfhog or
Edgehog.
something.
Let's try and finish this up, guys. Come on.
Anyway,
When it was over.
he simply fainted, unable to sustain it anymore. He was found in the morning, still unconscious. The two-tailed fox took him on his shoulders, blaming himself for not having been able to find him earlier, since his prized invention, the Miles Electric, I remember that.
Yeah, we all do.
Couldn't detect his presence because of a strange, seemingly inexplicable interference. That's convenient. He spun his namesakes and rose in air with the fainted Sidrian on his back. Flying in that predicament turned out to be more difficult than he thought, but he managed to do it anyway. I'm glad he did, I guess.
Yep, we just get the story going.
It took all the kid's strength to transport his guest right back into the Mystic Ruin to his secret, undisclosed workshop next to the train station and the gift shop selling singing animal skins and heads. With several breaks for regaining breath, that is. But after a whole day, Void was now serenely asleep in his bed, in the security of Tails' workshop. The Vulpine was feeling slightly better now. Well, I'm glad you're feeling fine, Tails.
How about Amy? Does she feel fine?
Oh, I'm pretty sure she's fine. Unlike the other day when Amy was hospitalized and her unwilling assaulter ran away. Oh, you mean this assaulter? The one you just saved? Again? Tails knew that things were going to be more difficult from now on. Everybody knew that the black-eyed monster was still alive. More importantly, GUN knew. And they knew he used to hide it. So maybe don't go back to your workshop, which is actually very easy to find. You know, it's just a suggestion. They could not stay there for too long. They needed to leave as soon as possible. Luckily for them, there still was one person the fox couldn't trust his life with. Let me guess. A certain pickle sandwiches lover he learned to call father. Yes, baby! Professor Pickle, the pickle man is back.
Yay!
Oh, I hate everything about this sentence. Inside the sleeping plant's head, however, things weren't looking so optimistic. What happened?
The Stygian asked, to no one in particular. The answer came in the form of an ominous roar. And a giant snake-like, dragon-like creature. It's like you've changed your mind.
Who are you?
The panicked namesake-eyed boy yelled rather than asked. The beast seemed to smile, if its awful scowl on a dented muzzle could be considered such.
Who am I?
It replied with its animalistic, twisted voice.
I am this planet's wheel and your new master. I am Dark Gaia Gadget.
Oh no.
Oh, yes!
I see.
For simplicity's sake, I am going to be the narrator and you can be the other one. If it isn't a twist, don't you think, Shadow?
Indeed. I bet no one expected to see this story's narrator to actually be a part of it.
Are you kidding me?
That's what I was going to say.
Or the participation of the latest Sonic villain, for that matter.
I'm just nonchalantly referencing the canon because this isn't just one layer of meta text, it is several layers. Because you see, the narrator of this story is not just aware that this is a work of fiction, it is aware that it is a fun fiction based off a popular gaming franchise. It's basically Excel Saga, in that sense. I would like to thank you for your collaboration. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible.
I'm curious though, how are you going to explain this mess of a plot to your eager readers?
And they were eager, those readers. I haven't thought of it yet. I'll just improvise, Fang the freaking sniper.
Fang? Is that you?
No. And I was joking.
I knew it! I knew it! You and Fang the Sniper are the same person!
I think it's pretty obvious by this point. Sigh. Well, it's true. In a way, it's part of my twisted personality. Don't tell anybody.
Is it still part of your twisted personality?
No!
Don't you worry about it. I can keep secrets. But there's a price, of course.
Oh yes, of course, Shadow. Bargain for something you want with an entity you can barely understand. It worked so well last time you did that. Alright, you will have your own spin-off series, maybe. Now shut up and enjoy the rest of the song. The story is over! I wanna heal, I wanna feel what I thought was never real, etc.
And what about Blaze?
Oh yes, there's more. Oh, there's always more. You'll see. Or maybe not. I don't know. I still have to decide it. Ha!
Continues on. Void of love.
I want to say I am speechless, but all of this is pretty much par for the course, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, so if you thought it couldn't possibly get more dumb, pointless, pretentious, and self-referential than Void of Sorrow, then hoo boy, laddie, do I have some great news for you.
Void of Solitude. Jeez Louise.
This was a roller coaster in all the worst possible ways.
But I would still say that it wasn't quite as bad as Void of Sorrow.
You're kidding, right? I have taken everything that was terrible and arrogant and unbearable about Void of Sorrow and multiplied by 2. This is just objectively worse because it's building atop an already faulty foundation.
So much that it took a lot of the stupidity from the previous one and just replaced it more angsty edginess.
It's more of the same, really, in that matter, but a lot more heavy-handed, if that's even remotely possible or achievable.
But at this point we are all used to it.
Honestly, if I am the one writing it, I always find a way to make things worse and unnecessarily grim for everyone involved. And then also I proceeded to insult the audience by undermining all of that quote-unquote character work by pointing out it's all damn fan fiction anyway.
But we have one more hurdle left for tonight.
Oh, let me guess, you want to read the reviews.
Yes.
By the way, we start at the bottom because, that's where chapter 1 is.
Yes. Okay, people. If you want me to continue, write me 5 God reviews. Well, they wrote
10
of those God reviews, so yes, we are here to suffer through this.
And the first review was written on January 13th, 2009, and the latest review was written on January 16th, 2009.
Okay, let's go through these reviews in order from bottom to
top.
Yes. You're doing so well with this series you've made. Well done.
Well, I think it seems that we are starting right from the start with the usual.
Yes, the usual, just sycophantic behavior.
Another great story and another great song. Sorry for repeating myself, but it's only because it's true.
I did not write the song, right?
No.
So why are you complimenting me for this song?
Maybe he's complimenting on your choice of music.
Let's go with that. Oh, I like this next person. They have a V for Vendetta avatar. So they need to be taken seriously because of that.
And they have given you 3 reviews for this fic. And there are 3 other people who have given you 2.
We have the usual suspects, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Off to a great start. Will Mephiles show up by any chance? And if he does, will he have the same connection to Shadow that he had in the Tales saga, the opposition from Sonic 2006, or anything else? How long before we get back to place? And something I probably should have asked long ago, will the events of Sonic Shuffle, Void's game of origin if I'm not mistaken, have any effect on this story? Alright, that's all for now. Keep up the good work and see you next chapter.
The answer to this query is Hagbees. Moving on.
Hagbees.
Now, this is the same person, by the way. Now he's lost Tails and Amy. Void is pretty much set to become the bouquet placed in front of his own tombstone. I'm questioning the physics of that. Assuming he is lucky enough to receive one, please don't stop the music.
Please don't stop the music.
Stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. Don't stop the rock. By the way, did you check out the song I told you about? It's 1000 Words by Jade from Sweetbox. Now they're giving me musical recommendations.
Wow, you really impressed them with your song picks.
1000 should be written in number form, but when I write the same character 3 consecutive times, such as the 3 zeros in 1000, the review cuts it down to the first one and changes 1000 to 10. I'm confused by this. It's pretty soulful and sad, but also has a hint of hope. It might fit for Void and Blaze. And for other tragic couples as well. Blaze is dead! Moving on!
Poor dude. I would hate that.
I bet you would.
I can't even begin to describe how badly that would suck. Being stuck in a parallel dimension. I want to go help him. Can I go help him?
Why don't we ask past Madhog? Well, past Madhog, what do you have to say for this poor sap?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, now you're just making him suffer. Fitting, he deserves it. More, I say.
Oh my god.
Amy deserves it too for giving him that stupid nickname. Voidu-chan? I don't even want to know. Literally, don't tell me.
You know, that's the fault of the writer, not the fault of the character.
Yeah, it is. Jeez.
But most people think that the characters are the writer.
No, most people have this mental image of Amy being in a certain way because of the larger canon, so yes, she doesn't have that many fans. Oh my gosh, Devar! This person has your very same concerns in regards to Void's werewolf curse.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that I read it ahead of time.
So I'm guessing Void is going to become a were-Sidrian? Again, a Sidrian is already sort of a man plant. Were means man, so not a were-Sidrian. That would be cool to see. What would that even look like? I wonder if past Madhog has thought of that. Let's ask him! So, past Madhog, have you thought of how a were-Sidrian is supposed to look like? I am not Madhog, I'm Asipal from the future. I'm sorry, wrong dimension.
Who called that? Raises hand. I so called that. Just didn't put it in a review.
What exactly did you call? You would have to be more specific.
However, Fang, if that's your real name, I find it highly surprising that you have arguments with yourself. I also find it quite hilarious that you lose those arguments. Heh.
Okay, so we established that the writer of this Tales saga and related spin-offs suffers from multiple personality disorder, which honestly explains a few things.
And one of those personalities is one of his characters, Fang the Sniper.
That honestly makes too much sense, given everything.
The whole fact about that makes it seem like that back in the day, Fang the Sniper was your favorite character.
No, but I fell in love in the way I wrote Fang the Sniper, which is usually how these things work out.
Ooh, scandalous.
Shut up. Who's next?
Great work. Nice twist throwing in Dark Gaia. I wonder what Void will turn into at night, considering the events of Jehu and Jezebel. What?
Don't worry about that. Don't even think about it.
Will Fang turn into a werewolf? Why would Fang turn into... He already is half wolf and half weasel, so it might work. Keep up the good work and see you next chapter.
Okay, so Jehu and Jezebel, nice Book of Kings reference, by the way, is a one-shot story that's also in my fanfiction.net archive that doesn't really have anything to do at all with the Tales saga. So it's not relevant to our current predicament, so to speak, but I am not surprised that some people might think it is somehow linked to it, even though I make absolutely sure that people know which stories are continuing from which point, or vice versa. Interesting. I have never played that Sonic game though, so I will not understand a bit, it seems. Ah well. Nice story all the same. Well, I have good news for you. You don't need to have been played the games to understand this story. Unfortunately, those good news are also bad news, because if you had played those games, then this would even be more confusing to you. Anyway,
The reviews are over.
yes, we are thankfully done for the night. This has been Dramatis Lectio, The Void Within, Void of Solitude. Please come back next time where we shall tackle The Void Within, Void of Love. Go. Dark freaking Gaia. I have no idea where I am going with all of this. I remember nothing of this, as I established already.
Everyone just decided, hey, we want to troll this one guy.
And Fang the Sniper is actually the author.
Part of the author, at least, if you picture the author as some sort of cosmic entity, or, you know, a person with some problems. And it makes sense considering the role Fang had in the actual story, as this wild card who decided to be guidance for one of the main characters for no discernible reason, because chaos and all that. No, screw that noise, he was part of the author entity. It's like Smeagol and Gollum.
It's like a mess and garbage.
Well, okay then. We are done. Thanks for joining us. And please come back for more of this. And don't be late to arrive, I guess. No, wait. That's actually a structurally sensible sentence. Never mind.
But how can they be late to arrive since this is not live?
Well, that's a good question. Let's ask past Madhog about it.
Well, past Madhog, what do you have to say about this?
I am Fang the Sniper. You have liberated me from my prison inside the mind of the
no, you
writer.
don't take
Now
it
I shall
further.
take over the world.
He just cheated to save the world.
Right then. And I yeet to you too. And I yeet to you as well. And God yeet us all. Good night, everybody. This has been Madhog Thy Master.
I've been the Dark Brother.
And I've been Icy Pal.
And this has been Your Sanity. Bye bye.
Take care.
Goodbye.
And don't forget your souvenir, your singing animal head.
Unfortunately, sir, we've run out. The British Hunting Club bought them all.
Darn.